A local Southern California story has gained national attention and concern. A brave 17-year-old girl, Rebecca Phillips, said she was shamed for complaining to her YMCA in San Diego County about being exposed to a naked transgender person with a penis in the women's locker room. She was very emotional when she addressed the Santee City Council last week, pleading for policies that allow this to happen to be changed. Take a look.
To the gym to swim laps. As I was showering after my workout, I saw a naked male in the women's locker room. I immediately went back into the shower, terrified, and hid behind their flimsy excuse for a curtain until he was gone. I ran into a bathroom stall to change as quickly as I could, organizing my thoughts to share with the people at the front desk. As I did so, I could only think of my 5-year-old sister, who I bring to this gym during the summer to enjoy their water slides. This is the YMCA, where hundreds of children spend their summer afternoons in child care camps. This is the YMCA where my little sister took gymnastics lessons. The locker room was supposed to be her safe haven to gossip with her friends and shower and change. When I asked the YMCA management what their policy was regarding transgenders, they confirmed that the man that I saw was indeed allowed to shower wherever he pleased. As long as you are not a red flag on Megan's Law, the California Sex Offender Registry, a grown male can shower alongside a teenage girl at your YMCA location here in Santee. I was made to feel as though I had done something wrong when I talked to people at the YMCA. Somehow, the indecent exposure of a male to a female minor was an inconvenience to them.
Joining me now is Brittany Mayer, founder of Rooted Wings, an organization fighting for our children. Brittany, good to have you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me on to discuss this. It's such an important story.
Yeah, I do have an update because the spokesperson for the YMCA gave me an updated statement today. I'll read that in a moment. But first, you've been very outspoken about this incident. You spoke to Rebecca herself. What's the latest?
Yeah, I have been in conversation with Rebecca and with her family, and it's so disturbing what was allowed to take place at the YMCA facility. I am not only a community activist, but I'm a mom. And back in April of 2022, San Diego County, they voted to change the definition of woman to include man. And we argued against that. And we said, look, this is going to set the stage for massive consequences that are going to affect little girls. And it's not limited to just being a token virtue. This actually has implications that are going to affect people. And we're seeing the effects of that now in this horrendous situation where a little 17-year-old girl who was showering in what she thought was a private, safe place was exposed to a naked man and then was told that she was safe and that she wasn't hurt. This is such a violation of societal order. And we're seeing everything start to come crashing down, which is why this story is so important.
Yeah, she was asking for policy change. We know we're going to get to the council changing the definition of a woman in a moment. But have you heard anything about her plea for policy change from City Council?
Oh, she asked for a change, and it was basically shrugged at from the staff. And that's something I talked to Rebecca about, that when she collected her thoughts after being exposed to a naked man in the women's locker room, and she hid in the bathroom because she was terrified. She went out and she talked with the staff after collecting her thoughts to say, hey, look what happened. I'm scared. Is there something that can be done about this? And she was made to feel like she was completely in the wrong and that the fault was on her. And it's this whole inclusivity movement that we're now seeing hit the fan.
Yeah, it's taking it too far, and people are being hurt emotionally, and we don't want to get it to a point where they're actually being hurt physically as well, because by then it'll be too late. So the YMCA of San Diego County, they gave me this statement today. I want to pull it up on the screen. It reads in part, we understand that the minor involved felt hurt and frustrated, and we wholeheartedly apologize for not providing her with the level of support she deserves. They also said that we're committed to treating every member with dignity and protection, and will continue striving towards that goal. We also provide a private gender-neutral restroom shower for members who prefer a private space. As part of our commitment to continuously improving, we're reviewing locker room floor plans across all facilities within our association. So the YMCA also said it's following California state law by allowing people to use the changing rooms that align with their gender identity. your response to this, Brittany, this response from the YMCA, finally apologizing.
Well, finally, it's a little late. I think we all can say it's a little late here. You know, it's funny that it took pushing this story into national and international news for them to finally say something apologetic about what this little girl went through. I would say it's not enough. And to me, it's so black and white. We have a male with a penis strolling through a locker room where minors are present. Rebecca mentioned in her speech, there are summer camps where little children participate without parents and they have access to those locker rooms. So I think that what we have to realize is that this isn't something that we can just shrug at and talk about floor plans and gender neutral spaces. We're going to have to look at the whole picture here and say, can men use women's locker rooms and women's spaces? That's the question. And for so long, we've been riding this virtue train where we're trying to say that men are women, and we're seeing that in San Diego policies. But at this point, it's all starting to hit the fan where we have to realize that there are implications. And do we want a society where men who are naked are in women's spaces where minors are present?
Exactly, because that could be taken too far by people who are taking advantage of that law. You know, I have two little kids. They utilize the San Diego County YMCA, and it's a really scary time for me to be a parent right now thinking about all this. So I do want to go back to what you said about the 3 San Diego County supervisors. Spring of last year, they approved a bill redefining the definition of a woman to include anyone who identifies as a female. So under this new definition, biological men are allowed in women's homeless shelters, domestic violence shelters, women's prisons. And on that, we already saw a trans prisoner impregnate 2 inmates in a New Jersey women's prison last year. And the Cambridge Dictionary also changed its definition for woman and man to include trans people. So Rebecca Phillips, the story of the inmate in New Jersey, these are just 2 that we know of, 2 stories like this that we know of. Maybe others have gone unreported for fear of being embarrassed. You know, how many more are there to come before it's too late?
We're at the tipping point. That's the bottom line. We are at the tipping point in society where we are either going to deconstruct societal order in favor of policies that protect deranged individuals and words that have new twisted meanings, where all of a sudden now in 2023, we're saying that men who are biologically different than women are now the creature of a woman. So we're either going to twist all of our words that we've historically had for so long and undo them and unravel society, or we're going to push in and say, we went too far and we're going to have to backtrack, and we have to stand for truth and refuse to live by lies. And, you know, the county supervisors you mentioned, Nathan Fletcher, Nora Vargas, Tara Remmer, I would love to hear them comment on this situation that was in large part created by their policy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I would like to see them comment as well, but we'll see if that actually happens. So unfortunately, so many women feel like biological women are being erased and safe spaces taken away. How did we get to this point, and what could be done?
Yeah, it's time to lean in and to refuse to use the new language and the new words and the new terms. I think that I would encourage everybody to call your local YMCA and ask what policies are in place to protect women. And then I would, if your local YMCA is upholding these policies, and they're horrible. I've read through them. You know, this is their promise to serve all, their actual document. And in it says that legal gender, physical genitalia, or gender expression do not dictate the use of gender segregated spaces. Listen to this. Trans individuals may select either locker room and restroom, requiring someone to use a bathroom or other gendered area that they do not identify with can be detrimental for a trans individual's well-being and safety and puts the YMCA at risk for discrimination complaints. We're going to have to decide who we're protecting. Exactly. Are we protecting little girls and minors, or are we protecting an ideological cult that is at war with women and seeks to erase women and redefine what our culture and our society is?
Yeah, well said. And many people, they're making their voices heard. They will not let this go in silence anymore. So there will be a protest, a peaceful protest this Wednesday in front of the Santee YMCA, a rally for women's and girls' rights. Brittany, you'll keep me updated on how that goes. But in the meantime, I appreciate your time today. Keep up the good fight. Rooted Wings is your organization. Brittany Mayer, thanks for
Yes, we are rootedwings.com. We are rootedwings.com. We are so strong on protecting our children. And so this is a very important issue, and I'll be in touch with you, Alicia. Thank you.
Thank you for all that you do.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading.